Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is Boop, I Love You, Chapter 13, and this one is titled Shinsou the Caring Bean. No, it was before then, you thought. I went to see Fun last night, and she didn't inject anything to me. It was that professor from earlier. Must be a side effect of the quirk extension. Just make sure she has plenty of water and rest, the vet said to Shinsou. If the fever is still there tomorrow afternoon, bring her back. Okay, thank you, sir, Shinsou said as he gently scooped you up and carried you out of the room. Once back home, he carried you to the kitchen, where he scooped up some water from the tap with his hand and held it to your mouth. Here, Sin. Have a drink, he said with a yawn. Being in a daze, still and a bit thirsty, you leaned your face to his hand, slurping up the water noisily. It's a weird way to drink, but okay, he mumbled, watching the water go everywhere. This is the first time I've ever seen you drink, too. Usually I'd have a go at you for being so rude, but I'm tired, he thought, pulling your face back and turning it to rub the water off on his shirt. Ugh, thanks, he groaned at the now wet patch on his top. Serves you right, he laughed internally as he carried you back to his room and flopped into bed with you in arms. Do you need a cold compress on your head or anything? He asked softly as he stroked your still feverish head. You were so tired that you didn't respond, and you didn't fight the fact that you were laying on his chest either. You felt him pick up his phone out of his pocket and text someone, then let his arm flop back down on the bed. I'm not going to school today. I'll just stay home and look after you, he mumbled as he drifted back off to sleep. You smiled to yourself and fell asleep too, the gentle rise and fall of his chest rocking you to sleep. At 11 a.m, you woke up and stretched, blinking your tired eyes slowly in the late morning light. You felt Shinsou stir underneath you and suddenly remembered that you were on top of him. Whoa, my god, sorry, you meowed in fright, quickly jumping off him. Sin, hey, it's okay. Are you okay? Shinsou asked groggily when he felt you spring off him in a panic. He reached out an arm to grab you and caught you just in time. Sorry, did I scare you? He asked gently as he pulled you back into him, rolling onto his side towards you so that he could stroke you from head to tail. How are you feeling? He asked as he lay his head back down the pillow. From better? You meowed, closing your eyes and purring as he ran his fingers down your back. You look better, he commented, continuing to tickle and scratch you in different spots. I'm glad you're okay. I was a little worried. You're such a sweet guy, Shinsou, you meowed softly at him as he rolled onto your side, tail flicking slightly as he looked into his deep purple eyes. He smiled gently at you and pushed himself up to a sitting position. I need to get you some things today, he said, hopping off the bed. Like cat bowl, cat food, collar. Fam. Now let's not get carried away here. I'm not eating out of a cat bowl. I'm not eating cat food, and I'm not wearing a collar. I'm not about that kinky collar life, you meowed in protest as you jumped off the bed and followed him to the kitchen on unsteady paws. He looked back at you and saw you following, but that you were a bit wobbly. Hey, whoa, you're weak, Sin. Don't push yourself, he chided as he picked you up. I need to give you some more water. He carried you over to the cupboard and pulled out a bowl to fill it with water. Dude, I've been over this. I don't drink out of bowls. Glass, Shinsou, glass, with a straw, you meowed in earnest. Shinsou ignored your meowing and filled the bowl before placing it on the bench and sitting you down beside it. There you go, he said proudly. You just looked at it, then looked up at him. Glass, you meowed loudly. What's wrong? Why don't you like drinking out of anything? I've only just managed to get you to drink out of my hand, he said, slightly exasperated. How do I get you to drink? He turned back to the cupboard and pulled out a glass, a flat dinner plate and a jug, and filled each of them with water, being careful not to spill the water off the flat dinner plate as he carried it over to you. Carefully he sat them down in front of you on the bench. Okay, choose, he said sternly. You reached your head into the glass and tried to drink the water out of it, but you just couldn't quite get your tongue right to drink it properly, and you growled with annoyance. Oh, okay, so you like proper drinking glasses? He commented with amusement. It doesn't quite work for you though, huh? You looked up and glared at him. Well, what do you want me to do about it? He asked, crossing his arms slightly with defiance. Put a straw in there? He looked at the glass of water, then at him again, desperately refraining from nodding, although you really wanted to. He sighed. Well, it's worth a try. He pulled out the drawer in front of him and reached in, showing you a straw between his fingers as he pulled it out. This? He asked rhetorically. Your eyes lit up and you sucked on the straw the minute that he put it in the glass. Whoa, what? He laughed as he guzzled the water down. You drink out of straws? What the heck? You gave him the side eye as he continued to drink heartily. This is weird and cool all in one. He laughed again. Where's my phone? I need a picture. No way, buddy. I ain't sucking on a straw for you to post it up on TikTok and get 1 million views, you thought with indignation. He ran back to his room to get his phone, but you had already finished drinking by then and had jumped off the bench top and sprawled out on the lounge. Aw, Sin, he pouted when he came back with phone in hand and ready. Come and drink some more water so I can get a pic. You flicked your tail and looked away. He sighed. Oh, next time. He walked over to where you were and crouched down, unlocking his phone and holding it out to take a picture of you lying on the lounge. You gave him the side eye as you heard the shutter on his phone click. That's my lock screen picture now, he said proudly, turning the phone to show you. You looked at it. Oh, God, I look terrible, you wailed internally. He smiled and stood back up, walking over to the kitchen. Ooh, I need a coffee, he yawned. At hearing the word coffee, your ears pricked up. Oh, yes please, you meowed as you jumped off the lounge and ran to catch up with him. What? He asked as you skidded around the corner of the bench and crashed into the back of his legs. What are you on? Coffee, you meowed, unsmushing your face from his legs and looking up at him. Unsmushing's a word, right? Surely it is. Anyway, chapter 14 coming tomorrow. See you then.